You mentioned about the diversity in appointment of judges in terms of caste, class and religious minorities, etc. So have you been able to maintain that diversity in your tenure as a Chief Justice of India?
Yes, but let me not just focus on my tenure as a Chief Justice and tell you a little bit about what is happening across India. Let me begin with your question. The pool of judges available for appointment to the Supreme Court consists of people who have been appointed at least a decade earlier to the High Courts. Judges who were appointed to the High Courts a decade ago, say sometime between, I'm one of the oldest in the system, I was appointed in 2000, but judges who were appointed to the High Courts, say between 2005 and 2010, would have typically joined the bar between 1985 and 1990, or little or soon thereafter. So when we look at the pool which is available for appointment to the Supreme Court, that is defined in a large manner by the pool of lawyers in the 1990s. That's why it's important when we talk about the importance of, when we talk about the need to promote greater diversity in the Indian judiciary, we need to look at the pool right down to the grassroots level today. And one remarkable thing which is taking place, which is something which I must share to you as the head of the Indian judiciary, is that when we are making recruitments to the district judiciary across India, in a number of states, in a large number of states, the number of women is exceeding 50%.
In Maharashtra?
In a number of states, Rajasthan, in a number of states, the number of women who are being recruited into the Indian judiciary has crossed 60%. It's gone to 70%. That means that when you have competitive examinations and women have a level playing field, they are doing exceptionally well. Now, these women who are being recruited into the district judiciary today, 10 years or 15 years down the line, they would be the persons who would be, they would be manning positions in the High Court. And sooner or later, they would be coming into the Supreme Court eventually for appointment. The bar has to be made a far more conducive place for women to practice, and that's one of my concerns. How do we ensure a level playing field for women who are practicing? And I think there, the responsibility is not just of the judges themselves, but of members of the bar themselves. Senior members of the bar, for instance, must make sure that they make their chambers places which are accessible, which are welcoming of women. I think our chambers must factor in that women have very significantly different societal responsibilities than male lawyers have. We must factor in the fact that women have a very large role to play in terms of the work which they do for their own families, and therefore in terms of childbearing. Therefore, we must ensure that women are not put out of the profession by these challenges which womanhood brings to a member of the bar who's a woman. So I think there's a greater societal responsibility, and not just a responsibility which we place on those who are in the collegiums, but the whole structure of the bar has to undergo a change in making these spaces more welcoming of women, so as to ensure that more and more women enter the profession of the courts, lawyering within the courts, that they succeed in the process of litigation as litigation professionals, and then eventually are appointed to the High Courts and then to the Supreme Court.